Hey, welcome back. I'd just like to go over a C++ code that I wrote. So it's pretty basic code. It just allows you to add things to a grocery list and then add up the total cost of the things that you have added. So some of the libraries that you'll need to write this code are the IOStream for input and output, the string library so that you can create string variables, the vector library so you can create the vectors to store the inputs, the numeric, so you can do a more advanced math function to be able to add up the everything that's inside of a particular vector is what we're going to be using it for. And the IO main IP, which is for allowing you to format your floats so that regardless of the user input, it'll format it to the second decimal the way money would normally be. So the classes that we'll be looking at, we created a grocery class and we have two functions inside this class. So the first function is a string function, and it will take in the arguments of an item and then the letter number that you'd like to be going to. Okay, and so this is for capitalizing the letters. So you can go over, you can say your item is going to be, so down here, we're going to have our item be answer, and then which is whatever the user inputs, so yes or no. And then what letter they're going to be capitalizing to is going to be the length of the answer. And we want it to be the length of the answer so that we can, so that it will automatically just go all the way to the end of the word, capitalize every letter, making it uniform. The add cart will go over and take a vector as its argument. The particular vector we'll be doing is going to be our price list vector, but it can take any vector that has numbers in it, and it will take that vector and it will take the beginning of the vector and go all the way to the end of the vector and add all of it together. And it will then display the output of that. So in our main function, we're going to be calling the groceries class, and we're going to be calling it G. And then we're also going to be creating the variables that we'll be using. So item, location, answer, finished, and price. The price will be a float, the rest were strings. Then our 3 vectors, 2 string vectors, and 1 float vector for our item list, price list, and location list. So first, it will ask the user for an input of whether or not they want to add something to the grocery list. Once they answer, if they answer yes, then it will take them into our loop, which will keep them in that loop until they say no, they do not want to add another thing to the grocery list. So it'll ask them if they'd like to add an item, and if they say what item they'd like to add, and if they can say what they want to add, whatever item, and it will then capitalize the first letter of that item and then add it to our items list. And then it will do the same thing for price. So once they put the price, it'll go over and make sure it's to the second decimal, and then it will add it to our list. And then it'll ask for what location you think you're going to buy this at, and it will capitalize the first letter and add it to the list again. Now it'll give the user an opportunity to exit the loop. If they choose yes, they'd like to exit the loop, then it will take them to whether or not they'd like to look at their list. If they answer no, then you'll continue to, if they say yes, then they'd continue through the loop. If they say no, they'd not like to add another thing, then it will take them to the end. If they answer anything other than yes or no, then it will say it's an invalid input and give them the option to answer again. Then it will ask if they would like to look at the grocery list. If they answer yes, then it will have them look at the grocery list. If they answer no, it'll just terminate the program. So once they answer yes, it'll say here's your grocery list, and it will loop through all of the vectors and display each of them saying you have blank item at this price, bought at this location. And then it will display the total price. So I'll run that for you so you can take a look at it. So we'll say, yes, we'd like to add something to our grocery list. What item would you like to add? We'll say we're going to add milk. We're going to say that that's going to be $2. And where would you buy this item? We'll say we're going to buy it at Walmart. And you'd like to add something else? Yes, we would. what item would you like to add? We're going to say we're going to get soda. We're going to say the price of soda right now is $4.50. Where will you buy this item? We're going to say Winco because they have a good price. Would you like to add something else to your grocery list? No. Yes, we'd like to look at our grocery list. So it'll say that we have milk at $2 bought at Walmart, and we have soda at $4.50 bought at Winco, and your total price is $6.50 before tax. So as you can see, I capitalized milk, Walmart, and soda, and I already capitalized Winco when I input it, but it would have capitalized it regardless, and so it will capitalize the first letter either way. And so that's a basic rundown of my code to be able to create a grocery list.